Still with us, criminal defense attorney Eric Schwartzreich. And Eric, it's a heartbreaker for those of us that know Savannah, but for anyone in this situation, it's the worst thing, having a family member missing, and then to have the sheriff basically say, there's something wrong here, and this is a crime scene. A lot of concern, and it just doesn't look good at this point. It appears as though her physical limitations would suggest possibly some sort of kidnapping of an 84-year-old.
Well, first of all, Ted and Mark, I hope everything goes well for her family over at Court TV, for Today's Show family, and certainly for the Guthries. I mean, certainly when we have, you know, an elderly person, 84 years old, and we have law enforcement coming out, and based upon, they're not releasing everything yet for reasons, but based upon that statement, and the first 48 hours are very important, that based upon the statement that this is a crime scene and that we're looking at license plate readers, there might be camera evidence, something in disarray, someone from the church, someone, those are good questions because of the high profile nature of Savannah, to ask if there's any issues or any threats. You know, you also were just recently covered a case on Court TV where an elderly person, while he was convicted, was part of a scam, and people sometimes like to scam elderly people, take advantage of elderly people, and it seems as if the sheriff is saying that there's some evidence to show in this house that this is a crime scene. She didn't leave voluntarily. We're looking at those license plate readers to determine if there was a car and it left the city or it left the county. You have to stay optimistic. We're within the time frame. It's concerning that she doesn't have her medication with her, but I hope that they find her, and I hope that they find her alive in this situation.
Yeah, here's the sheriff talking about that medication that Nancy Guthrie needs on a daily basis. Take a listen.
This is a 84-year-old lady who suffers from some physical ailments. Has some physical challenges, is in need of medication that if she doesn't have in 24 hours, it could be fatal.
Just dire there. Obviously, it's very important. He also said that she was sharp as a tack. This isn't an Alzheimer's scenario where she's wandered off. They have searched the area to a degree that they're certain that she didn't wander off given her physical limitations. Now they're continuing to go back and sort of research it, but at this point, they're really leaning into the public and asking for anybody to come forward. I want to read a statement that was released by Savannah Guthrie today, saying, on behalf of our family, I want to thank everybody for their thoughts, prayers, and messages of support. Right now, our focus remains on the safe return of our dear mom. We thank law enforcement for their hard work on this case and encourage anyone with information to contact the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Again, there's that number on your screen, 520-351-4900. Eric, it is too early to speculate on anything in terms of what could be happening here, but really the list is pretty short. You mentioned it. Is this someone who's trying a scam, like an elder sort of target, going after an elderly person, someone who knows the family, knows her, he's connected, maybe is obsessed with Savannah because of her fame, and all that. All of that is on the table, is it not, for law enforcement as they continue to do everything they can in these critical hours?
Everything has to be on the table, and I'm certain, but listening to the press conference, that they're going to leave, every stone is going to be turned over here. You know, we live in a day and age where we see attacks, political attacks, or people that watch things on TV don't like what someone says. They go to people's homes. Is it connected to the family? It could be, it couldn't be. Could it be connected from the church? Is she generous and does she give money? You know, are people following her? There's so many things that can be at play here, and hopefully the fact that Savannah Guthrie is a high-profile people, that this will get more attention, and perhaps the sheriff or the officer was appealing to the public, or even the captor, if you will, by mentioning the medication. And like, without that medication, it could be, and I'm paraphrasing here, doom and gloom. So they have to look at every single angle, and they're doing everything they can. And I'm hopeful that this will end up in in a positive way, hopefully.
Yeah, we sure all are, and all of our thoughts and prayers go with the Guthrie family and Savannah specifically, as we can only imagine what they're going through. Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old, missing in Arizona. If you know anything or see anything, or you're watching this and something clicks, especially if you live in that area, don't hesitate to call law enforcement. They're asking for the public's help. There's the number on your screen.